Hello there folk, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you again as usual, and thanks for popping over for what is becoming my favourite time of the week and our family meals of the week. So we were away, or Mr What's for Tea and I were away up to Elgin in the north of Scotland for a couple of days at the beginning of the week, and we're also out for our tea tonight, so I will show you that when we get there. If you're new and this is your first time here, my name's Cheryl, this is What's for Tea, and like I said, it is just the part of the week where I show you what I made for the family dinners, and hopefully it gives you ideas for you and your own family. Now, I'm no chef, no cook, nothing like that. I'm just a very passionate home cook. What I make is very basic that anyone could do. You know, they're very, very simple. So why not consider subscribing just before you leave if you do like these kinds of videos. I also do recipes and snack unboxings and the shopping hauls and all that kind of thing. So let me go and show you what I had starting off on Monday. And like I said, we were up in Elgin in the north of Scotland just for a couple of days, and we had to try out the famous galley fish and chip shop that they have in Lossiemouth. The place is called Lossiemouth, and it was absolutely delicious. One of the best fish and chips we have ever had, and we were also sitting by the seaside, so yeah, perfect combination. This is just a wee look at the menu here in case you wanted to pause and look, and this is the galley chip shop in Lossiemouth here, and there were actually a queue right around the corner. I didn't manage to get a picture there, but this is it, you know, this is it here, but the queue was massive, and that is normally a good sign, so it was well worth the wait. And this is where we were sitting. We were actually in the car, and that was our view. And I also got some curry sauce as well, so that's battered haddock, and it was just amazing. And there were millions of seagulls. I've never seen so many seagulls. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and look how white that fish was. Yeah, absolutely amazing. And moving on to Tuesday, this was breakfast in the accommodation we were staying in. We were staying in the Kilmorie guest house, and I will show you pictures just at the end. And it was very grand for a B&B, I must say. I think it's the grandest B&B I have been in. And Mr What's for Tea had toast and scrambled egg, and look how yellow those eggs are. And I had sausage and bacon and mushrooms and black pudding and a wee bit of tomato as well, and it was absolutely delicious, and the food was outstanding. They do evening meals as well, which we didn't bother with, but I have seen pictures of the evening meals online, and they just look 5-star. Now, I don't know what the owners done obviously before they had the B&B, but I'm guessing they were in some sort of hospitality or something, because the service and, you know, everything about it was just 5-star. The actual place is 4-star, but the service was first class. We loved it, and we will definitely be back. Like I said, it's quite grand, but not in a sort of stuffy way. The owners are quite young, surprisingly. It's 2 men that own it. I think they're a couple. I'm pretty sure they're a couple. Peter was the guy that we dealt with mainly, but I didn't catch his partner's name. But you'd think this place would be really dusty and stuffy, but it was absolutely spotless, and I think the cleanest B&B we've ever been to, and I will show you the room at the end. Moving on to Tuesday night, we just went to a wee local place, very informal. They done burgers and pizzas and pies and all that kind of thing. So Mr What's for Tea had a steak and ale pie with mash, gravy and veggies, and I had a burger, and I fancied some onion rings as well. The onion rings weren't great, but this burger was fantastic. It was actually a double burger, and I managed about half of it, and the chips were absolutely fantastic, because we were having a pudding. So I said, if I eat this whole thing, there's no way I'm going to have room for pudding. So I did leave the bun and half of one of those burgers, had a wee cheeky glass of wine, and Mr What's for Tea just had water because he was driving. Mr What's for Tea afterwards had sticky toffee pudding and ice cream, and I had this eaten mess sundae. So it's layers of cream, strawberry ice cream, vanilla ice cream, strawberry sauce, meringue, and it was just wonderful. So very simple, but absolutely delicious. And moving on to Wednesday morning, we had just exactly the same as we did the morning before. So some toast and butter, some freshly squeezed orange juice, and I've got to have black coffee. Mr What's for Tea likes his tea, and he had actually started with some cereal. I think that was muesli. And this is what I had. My bacon, sausage and mushrooms and black pudding and tomato. You could have eggs if you want. I'm not the biggest fan of eggs, so I never have eggs with my breakfast. And Mr. Watts for Tea had that scrambled egg and toast again. He said it was wonderful and really, really fresh. And I think most of this stuff was locally sourced. Moving on to Wednesday, so we get back quite early. So as soon as I get back, I threw a small gammon joint into the slow cooker, and we had some baby new potatoes with some garlic butter and some broccoli, some green beans and some mange too on the side. And again, very, very simple, but the flavours are delicious. And this was it here, just bubbling away in the slow cooker, and this absolutely fell apart when I took it out. Moving on to Thursday, very simple cauliflower cheese, one of our favourites. I just don't make this enough. I usually make this as a side to a meal instead of like the main thing, but yeah, it was just wonderful. A few chips and a few diced tomatoes with parsley on the side, and this is it just out of the oven here. Moving on to Friday, we had BLT baguettes. These are the sort of bake-at-home baguettes. You get 4 in a pack, and they're actually quite big. So a wee bit of butter, some lettuce, and some grilled smoked back bacon, and also some sliced tomato. So yeah, a wee cheeky BLT, and it's absolutely delicious. And then some cream of mushroom soup on the side with a wee bit of parsley, and of course a few crisps as well. We do like a few crisps, if we're having soup. I don't know why, it's just become a thing. Either a few crisps or a few pretzels, something like that. Yeah, that's what we do. And moving on to yesterday, I made a beef stir fry. So I had some steaks that I had to use up. So that's some beef or beef steak stir fried with some peppers and broccoli and onions and garlic. There's Chinese 5-spice and there's soy sauce in there. And again, absolutely delicious and very easy to make. And moving on to today, me and Mr. Watts for Tea went to one of our local Italian places. This is Vito's. So I had a wee cheeky glass of wine again, and Mr. Watts for Tea again is on the water. I didn't fancy pasta or a pizza or anything like that, so I got the chicken burger, and this was delicious with a few fries on the side and some garlic aioli, a massive basket of beer battered onion rings or tempura battered onion rings. Mr. Watts for Tea had the margherita pizza. Then afterwards I had the affogato. So this is just basically ice cream with a wee espresso and you throw it over the top. Mr. Watts for Tea had the tiramisu sundae. I had this last week, and it's layers of ice cream and tiramisu, and it is lovely. So you just throw your warm espresso over the vanilla ice cream and you try and eat it as quickly as you can before it melts, and then you have a nice wee sort of milky drink at the end. Just before I move on, I wanted to say, as usual, a massive thank you to the supporters of the channel over my Patreon page and to the channel members here as well. So thank you once again, guys. So like I said, we were staying in the Kilmorie house, so this is just a wee bit more about it here. It's been fully restored, it's well loved. You can see there's been a lot of money spent here as well. It's a lovely big building. Just to the left there are 2 self-contained sort of rooms there you can rent as well if you like. We were in the main building. This is just as you come in. This is a sort of sitting area. You can go in and read a book and whatever. Like I said, it looks like a lot of clutter, and it's not coming over very well in camera at all, but this place was, I can't tell you how clean and tidy this was. I did try and find dust. I couldn't find any. That's what I do. So we were on the 2nd floor. Yeah, and I just loved this place. It was packed with antiques and antique furniture and lots of wee sort of quirky. Now, my camera cut out here, and I thought that I'd managed to get footage of the room, so I'm just going to have to put pictures in here. I found these pictures online, and it's the exact room that we had. It's just packed with loads of wonderful features and furniture, and I could have spent a week here quite happily. Yeah, we just loved it. And this was us on our way up. This is the Cairngorms National Park, and it's got some spectacular scenery. So yeah, that was Elgin. We were there for a couple of days, and we went to a few of the different villages sort of surrounding Elgin as well. Hopeman we went to, in Lossiemouth, and different places. Mr. Watts for Tea used to go here as a wee boy, for his holidays. They didn't do holidays abroad when he was a lad, so this is where he went, and I'd never been before, and I just fell in love with the place. So we'll definitely be coming back here at some point, probably not till next year now, because they do have sort of wee houses and things down at the beach. I quite fancy trying. So yeah, so look out for that next year. If you remember, I'll remember and say to you. So thank you very much for watching. If you've hung on to this point, it is much appreciated, you know, especially those of you who do stay on to the ends of the videos and leave your lovely comments and all that jazz. So I will see you during the week for another wee recipe, shopping haul and possible unboxing. So whenever I see you again, guys, mind to have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you off soon back here on What's for Tea. So take care and bye for now. Bye now.